Happy lunch hour, guys. All right. Uh, we're preppers. One of the things preppers do is store food, right? Like chipmunks, like squirrels, like ants, like anything else. We take our clue from nature. A lot of channels, a lot of people tell you to put food away. Everybody always has it's going to get bad, blah, blah, blah. And the comments come out occasionally, even here. Oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, everything's fine, whatever it would be. It'll all get back to normal. Y'all have heard that, right? Okay. I'm going to give you some facts on why you need to put food away. Okay? This isn't speculation or anything. This isn't me. This is exactly what's going on. How many of you all have seen something like this? This is a comment made. All right. I would like to thank all of you that are stockpiling food for causing the food shortage. Congratulations, you've raised food prices on everyone else and you're sitting there with more food than you need. Others are going hungry because of the skyrocketing food prices due to the food shortage you're causing. Okay. Jerry Williams, not a subscriber, but if you by chance watch this, you're full of shit. Okay, just saying. All right. So let me give you a few facts here. It's kind of the whole point. All right. So let's start with I don't know, proteins, meat. All right. And I don't care what you want to talk. If you want to talk about beef, you want to talk about pork, you want to talk about poultry, you want to talk about venison, you want to talk about whatever. All right. And I'll link all this so you can see all this. All right. According to the World Wildlife Federation, which of course is, a very liberal entity, just saying, okay? I always love when I can use their facts to disprove what they're saying. And they're, blah, 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 but, yeah, okay. The World Wildlife Federation is basically saying we are in the middle of a mass extinction event. How about that? Okay. According to them, wildlife populations have plummeted by 69% over the last 50 years. Okay. In Africa, I've been there. Okay. I've eaten wildebeest, I've eaten zebra, all that sort of fun stuff. Okay. Because that's what they eat there. All right. In Africa, 2/3 of the animal population has been lost in the last 50 years. In Europe, the animal population has declined by 18%. In Asia, the animal population has declined by 55%. In North America, animal population has fallen by 20%. So for all those people who think, hey, you know what? When the grocery stores close, I'll just go out and hunt for my dinner. Okay? Let's think about this. In the last 50 years, the U.S. population has nearly doubled. Just saying, okay? But the animal population has dropped, the wildlife population has dropped by 50%. So you tell me, when all the cow farts and the cow burps, thank you, New Zealand, okay, cause us to a situation where, hey, we can't raise livestock. When it comes to a point where California says you can't raise pork unless they're in pig condos, and you can't sell your pork if it was raised in another state unless they were living in pig condos. What happens to the food? There isn't any. All right. Now, let's go into something like fish. You know what? If I can't eat, I'll go fish. I got a lake, right? I'm building a pond, right? What's the point? The freshwater population of fish has declined worldwide by 83% since 1970. There's 50 years again. 83% less fish, okay? What's causing this? Well, we need to do all this monoculture crap, all right? Vast plots of let's deforest everything. I'm against that because even some of you guys were telling me, oh, you need to cut down trees in your backyard and put a greenhouse in. No, I don't, okay? The trees are part of the whole ecosystem that I've got going on in my yard, all right, that I'm trying to create. I'll get rid of dead trees, sure, but the good ones, no. All right. So you get into this monoculture where they deforest everything and plant acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of wheat or corn or soybeans or pick something, okay? You ask any knowledgeable farmer, not corporate farmer, I'm talking about Joe Overalls here, and he will tell you, I need to rotate my crops, I need to plant different types of crops, different varieties of green beans or cabbage or whatever, okay? That's how they do things, all right? More on the permaculture thing. Why do farmers till in things like the leaves, the corn stalks, whatever? They're trying to build that biodiversity in their soil, okay? What does it do for them? Well, that more diverse crop gives them a higher yield from the amount of acreage they have because they attract more beneficial insects, they have less disease, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But corporate farming will tell you, hey, you know what? We'll just do all that chemically. Great, okay, just what I want to eat, chemicals, right? A lot of you have told me this year, hey, my garden's done great and everything like that. Funny how our gardens did well this year, right? For the most part. I mean, we all have failures in some things. I mean, I had some stuff that didn't grow this year. I mean, my pole beans didn't do squat. I didn't get anything. It's going to happen, right? But now imagine if I had all my gardens in pole beans. Guess what? I starve, okay? But no, I had diversity, so I had food. So this is what you get into here with deforestation. All right, you take out the diversity of the landscape. What does that do? Well, if there's no woodlands, there's no deer, okay? Or there's no squirrels, or there's no possums, or whatever would be. Other things that in an SHTF situation you can turn into food, all right? So you need to have that, but this is what they're destroying. And by destroying all of the woodlands, guess what? That means there's no protein source, okay? By using monoculture, guess what? That means you're at risk of no vegetables or fruits or anything else you grow. Well, let's see. If we've got no meat, no vegetables, no fruit, what the hell are you going to eat? Oh, by the way, Bill Gates, if there's none of those either, there's also no bugs. So you can't eat that either. So don't even give me that as an answer. All right. So let's go on to this further, all right? And this is something that I talked about a month ago, and of course I had people saying this wasn't true. So let's go into the next part of the food crisis and why it's so important to put away food. Fortune magazine article from a couple of days ago. I'll read you the headline here, and again, I'll link this article for you. America is going to shut down if we shut down. The Mississippi River's water levels are near record lows, and it's wreaking havoc on one of the U.S.'s most critical supply chains. Yes, for all those of you telling me that the water levels in the Mississippi weren't low, I'm sorry, I was right, you were wrong. Please understand, I do my research. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on. Last week, at one point, you had over 2,000 barges that were stuck because the water levels were too low, all right? That causes a problem. Now, let's take a look at how much goes down the Mississippi River. 500 million tons of supplies go down the Mississippi River every year with a trade value of $130 billion. Who's that according to? The Port of New Orleans. Okay, I think they might know. They're the ones that handle it all right? The Mississippi River Basin produces 90% of the U.S.'s agricultural exports and nearly 80% of the world's grain exports. What happens when all that food can't move? Gee, it can't get exported, but guess what? That also means it can't go from Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois, wherever it would be, any of the cities or any of the states along the Mississippi. Oh, guess what? It can't go down to the Port of New Orleans. It can't get shipped up to Boston, New York, California, wherever you want to talk about. All right. This is the problem. Okay. When you have barges stuck, that means food doesn't go. Right now, today, they've got the Mississippi going one way. All right. Getting food, getting the harvest from the upper Midwest down to New Orleans. Okay. Guess what? Just like California and U-Haul trucks, when there's no barges up north again, there's nowhere to move the food. But the barge industry is very important to our food supply, okay? 60% of the grain and 54% of the soybeans that we use in the States are moved via barges, okay? I told you how much was going for export, all right? We all depend on this. So now if the food can't move and there isn't any food growing, what does that do to you and me? Well, let's take a look at a picture that Jay sent me this morning. How do you like this one? Okay, take a look at this real quick. Thing that preppers like to store, shelf-stable stuff, right? Hormel Black Label fully cooked bacon, 72 slices, a 10.5-ounce pack, $29. Do I need to tell anybody anymore? If we can't grow the food, if we can't hunt the food, if we're not allowed to raise the food, this is what happens. I can't afford $30 for 2/3 of a pound of bacon. Can you? We all know what inflation is doing to us. It's crushing the American public. It's crushing the middle class, and the poor is toast, okay? I mean, the poor may actually be doing slightly better. Hear me out, okay? Because food stamps got raised, so they got a little bit more money to spend on food, all right? The middle class did not get a pay raise. The middle class has seen pay cuts and layoffs, et cetera, et cetera. So they're losing money. So this is where we get, guys. The objective is to make the middle class poor. Do you all see this? These are the facts. I'm not spinning any of this. I'm telling you what is being reported and put out by entities that understand and control this stuff, all right? When a liberal wildlife organization says we got a wildlife problem, when the port who handles the majority of grain shipments and food shipments, vegetable shipments in the United States says we got a problem, I don't want to hear anybody say, I'm hoarding food. I'm not hoarding food. I'm taking care of myself. I'm practicing personal responsibility. It's not you, it's not me who's driving up the prices of food. You and I have no control over the fact that these corporate farms are plowing trees under everywhere. You and I have no control over all the wetlands, the lakes, the rivers, the streams that are being polluted by companies that, hey, we'll just give a kickback to this politician and they'll let us do it. I don't know, Flint, Michigan come to mind? Okay, just saying. You and I have no control over the weather. You know, it's not you and me who's causing the food to go up. This dumbass at the beginning who's blaming us, I would love him to see this video. I would love to see a video response to him and have one comment. I would like to see him tell me I'm wrong in any of this. He can't. This is the problem, guys. We have our eyes open. They have blinders on that are getting closed and closed and closed until they can't see. And when time comes that there is the Civil War, okay, good old Adam Kinzinger, who is soon to be gone from Washington at least, and he'll have to go find a real job. He'll probably collect food stamps because the guy has no skills, okay? And don't even try to tell me, well, he's a veteran. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's a disgrace to the military. When he says, oh, the conservatives will get wiped out, you know, all those old guys with guns don't know anything what they're doing. Adam, let me tell you something. This old guy with a gun knows what he's doing because I learned something that he may need to learn. It's called personal responsibility. I've taken the steps to make sure my family is taken care of. How many people out there haven't? You think it's bad now? Wait until 2023. I told you 6 months ago, wait to see what happens in the fall. Yeah, looks like we're about there, okay? Food prices skyrocketing, produce dwindling, et cetera, et cetera. No food. And now all of a sudden, well, what do? Let's blame the preppers because there's so many of us, right? You know, less than 1% of the population has more than 2 weeks of food in the pantry, okay? Yeah, you think we're making a difference? No, not in the big picture. We're making a difference for ourselves. But all these people who are just running around with their blinders on, let them starve. I don't care. Pinball out.